The Steelers are making a huge trade to bring in DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, A+ trade for the Steelers and a B- trade for the Seahawks here. You are giving DK Metcalf a huge contract extension, $150 million, 5 years. That's a crazy contract for DK Metcalf. But if you have listened to this channel over the last few years, you know how I feel about DK. He's a true number one. You have him and George Pickens. Now, I will come on here and say this. This is going to be one of the best wide receiving duos on paper right now heading into the brand new season. You have two video game-like characters. DK Metcalf, 6'4", 6'5", depending on who you talk to, 225 pounds. Huge, big body wide receiver, can kill you deep, just a complete wide receiver. And you have George Pickens, who can also take the top off the defense. George Pickens has been a number 2 wide receiver once before in his career when he's playing alongside Deontay Johnson. That was a younger version of George Pickens. George Pickens as a true number 1, he's still very good. But the problem that the Steelers ran into last year, their wide receiving core was abysmal outside of George Pickens. Calvin Austin III gave you good moments, but was not consistent enough. And when George Pickens went down, you saw the Steelers go out there and they struggled in the air. They tried to run the football. They tried to work off of play action bootlegs with Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith, but it did not work out. And this also shows me this. It was a report that came out earlier today as I record this video that the Steelers, they're going to offer Sam Darnold a contract tomorrow. Do not be surprised they try to bring in a quarterback like Sam Darnold, or even if they re-sign Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. But this is a great move for the Steelers overall. For them to go out there and to bring in a true number 1 alongside your true number 1 in George Pickens, it's a great move. Now Calvin Austin III is your number 3 wide receiver, and he can win one-on-one situations inside this slot. I look at a player like Roman Wilson. They selected him with a high pick in last year's draft class. He didn't play his rookie season, similar to Calvin Austin III. And when you look at Roman Wilson, he got injured in training camp. He was able to play at the halfway point of his rookie season. But at the same time, he wasn't able to go out there and just give you good snaps. The coaching staff did not have that much faith in him. You bring in DK, a true number 1, has been great with the Seattle Seahawks, and he has that connection with Russell Wilson. Now, the Steelers, they still have a lot of things they need to address. That quarterback room. If I'm the general manager, I may go out there and try to bring back Justin Fields. He's cheaper. He's younger than Russell Wilson. He's not the passer that Russell Wilson is, but this is the one thing in the NFL. When you have the right guys on the outside, they can help out the quarterback. Now, Justin Fields, he has always been put into a bad situation with the Chicago Bears. And 6 games this year, with this organization, he went 4-2, and he looked very good, looked very solid. Then they benched him in favor of Russell Wilson. And the Steelers, they went on a major losing streak towards the end of the season. They lost their last 5 games. That's not a good situation for Coach Tomlin. But I am shocked right now. This organization, historically, they don't go out there and make trades. They rarely trade up in the first round. The last time they made a big trade like this is when they made the trade, when they traded their first round pick to the Miami Dolphins to bring over Micah Fitzpatrick. But this feels a huge need for the Steelers on the outside playing alongside George Pickens. But that quarterback room, you have options. You could bring in a veteran like Aaron Rodgers. I'm not that high on Aaron Rodgers, but he was in a bad situation with the Jets. Maybe you try to bring him over to see what he still has left in the tank. You have Russell Wilson, who looks solid and has solid moments with the Steelers. You have a young and exciting player like Justin Fields. Eventually, you have to hit your potential. And that's the one thing with Justin Fields and the New York Jets. They're willing to go out there and they're willing to give him a very good offer. So we'll see if they try to bring him back. Then you have Sam Darnold. But the rest of the offense, your offensive line, I think that you will be solid there. They have invested a lot of picks in the offensive line. They just have to work out. Troy Fautanu missed majority of his rookie season, dealing with a knee injury that he suffered when he was in practice. It was a walkthrough. He hurt his knee. Troy Fautanu, and the limited snaps that he played, he looked very good at the right tackle position. You have James Daniels. Do you want to bring him back? He's coming off a torn Achilles. You have Mason McCormick there. You drafted him last year. Zach Frazier was a very good center all season long. You're bringing him back. You have Isaac at the left guard position. He posted up a solid season. And you have Broderick Jones. Lord have mercy. In the first round, please draft another left tackle if Broderick Jones is going to be your left tackle, because Broderick Jones has not been a good player for this organization. He had a couple of good snaps his rookie year, but you look at Broderick Jones, Pass protection is terrible. He's a holding machine, and he looks lost in run blocking situations. Young player still, coming from Georgia. You can still give him time, but you need to bring in another veteran left tackle or draft someone in the first round. I may draft someone in the first round if I'm Omar Khan. I look at the defense. You know what the Steelers like to do with their defense. They like to put pressure on you with TJ Watt, with Alex Highsmith. They want to go out there. They want to extend the contract with TJ Watt. You have Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Ben. Their main defensive line, they can get better pieces. I will say that. They can get some bigger and better pieces up front to help out your pass rushers and Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, because let's be honest here, even though Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, they're phenomenal pass rushers, it was a lot of times this year where quarterbacks had a lot of time in the pocket, such as Lamar Jackson, such as Jameis Winston. And yes, that loss that they had against the Cleveland Browns Thursday Night Football, Jameis Winston has some clean pockets. So you have to go out there and bring in some more defensive linemen to push the interior of that offensive line, and then hopefully TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith can capitalize coming off the edge. And you're bringing back Cameron Hayward. I don't know how many years he has left in the tank, but that's why you drafted Keanu Ben a couple of years ago. But Cameron Hayward, he's still holding things down. The linebacker room, Patrick Queen was up and down this season. He was a solid starter. They're going to bring back Cole Holcomb. Cole Holcomb was a solid player a year ago until he hurt his knee against the Tennessee Titans. But I like the rotation of Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, and also Landon Roberts. I like what they have at the linebacking rotation right now, Cornerbacks, Joey Porter Jr., think he's solid. The one thing with Joey Porter Jr., he holds for a very long time, and you have a lot of flags that come into his way. But when he's not dealing with those holding calls, he's a very good cornerback to have. Mika Fitzpatrick, still one of the better safeties to have. You're not going to test him that much. I would bring back Dante Jackson. He was solid this year. He had a lot of interceptions. He had 5 interceptions to be exact and 8 pass deflections. And Cameron Sutton, it is what it is with Cameron Sutton. I don't think that Cameron Sutton is a great player to have around. He's okay at best. But I look at a guy like Cameron Sutton inside the nickel, gave you some okay moments. Benny Bishop is the guy to look at that nickel position because of the game that he had against the New York Jets. But the biggest thing right now with the Steelers as I record this video is the quarterback room. Now, I'm very excited to talk about this team. This is the beginning of free agency, it seems like, and everything is going crazy. We have Devontae Adams going to the Rams, Josh Allen being the highest paid player in the NFL right now. He just trumped over Dak Prescott and his contract. Everything is going crazy this week. And we're expected to have a trade happen with the first overall pick with the Tennessee Titans and potentially the New York Giants. This is going to be a crazy offseason. But the biggest thing with the Steelers, find out that quarterback. Hopefully it's a guy like Sam Darnold or Justin Fields. You get younger at that position. And I think that they will make a legit offer to bring in Sam Darnold. Because you look at Sam Darnold, what did he have with the Minnesota Vikings? He had Justin Jefferson. He had Jordan Addison. And I'm not saying that DK Metcalf and George Pickens are going to be a top duo in the NFL long term, because just because they look good on paper doesn't mean that's going to work out long term. But you put those key weapons around a quarterback, you bring in someone like a Sam Darnold, I think the Steelers will be working with something. And I look at Coach Tomlin, something has to give. You have to be aggressive in free agency. You haven't won a playoff game since 2016. And it's time for the Steelers to go out there and take advantage of this. But I love them making a trade to bring over DK Metcalf. You have your defense already. It's time to take a complete 180 with this philosophy with Coach Tomlin. Go out there, bring in a quarterback, put the right weapons around him. Let this offensive line develop. Broderick Jones is the exception because he's just so terrible on the outside. Unless you want to put him at right tackle. But you have Troy Fautanu on that side. Bring in another left tackle. And I look at the running back situation. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, they are both free agents. They can bring back Jaylen Warren. Najee Harris has had over 1,000 yards rushing every single season in his career. The problem is this with Najee Harris. He's more so of a power back. You need those explosive plays. And the running back room right now in this NFL draft class, it is so deep. You can get you a very good running back in the 5th or 6th round. And I'm not kidding when I say that. You can get someone like Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. You can get him late in the NFL draft. Or you can even draft a running back in the 1st round like how you did with Najee Harris. Personally, I would not do that. But it's still a lot of question marks that the Steelers have to go out there and address. But the biggest one is that quarterback room. And I will say this. I expect for them to go out there and make a decision by tomorrow. Justin Fields will listen to his offers. Russell Wilson, he has an offer on the table from the New York Giants. It seems like a lot of reports about that is coming in. We'll see if that's true. But the Steelers, they're in on Sam Darnold. They're in on Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and also Aaron Rodgers. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about this trade with them bringing in DK Metcalf to play alongside George Pickens? Now, I also want to talk about the tight end room before I let you guys go. You have Big Pat at the tight end spot. He has 653 receiving yards on the year, 7 receiving touchdowns. He averaged 10 yards a catch. No matter who the quarterback is, you have George Pickens, who had over 1,000 yards just a year ago. This year, he didn't have over 1,000 yards because he got injured with a hamstring injury. But on 59 catches, he had 900 yards to be exact and 3 receiving touchdowns. No matter who the quarterback is, you're going to have good weapons around you. And I say this over and over again about the running back position. If Najee Harris does walk because they declined the 5th-year option, do not panic. As long as you have a very good offensive line, your run game is going to be okay. Especially if you want to do the running back by committee approach with a Jalen Warren and another power back. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace. Editor's note. So I'm coming back towards the end of the video. I know I said let you guys go. I will talk about this, then I'm really going to let you guys go. DK's attitude with George Pickens' attitude. Huge thing here. DK has been a diva in the past for the Seattle Seahawks. Not a major diva, but he will have his moments on the field that just make you scratch your head and say, why are you pushing this cornerback in his back? And why are you grabbing the headset and telling the play caller, just get me the football? And as far as George Pickens, nothing off the field just yet with him, and I hope that it doesn't come to that. And the same with DK Metcalf, but on the field, they can both be headaches with their attitudes. Hopefully, Coach Tomlin can manage that. But we've seen this in the past with Coach Tomlin, with Antonio Brown and other wide receivers such as Deontay Johnson, that hasn't worked out. But just from a playing standpoint, this is going to be a great fit with both of these players. And I will speak on Arthur Smith for just a second. I'm not a huge fan of his play calling. I think that Arthur Smith is very conservative, but at the same time, they did not have true receiving threats down the field besides Calvin Austin III every now and then and George Pickens. Adding in someone like DK on the outside that is similar to A.J. Brown in terms of being a physical wide receiver that can beat one-on-one coverages and can just get deep down there and just be a big physical threat. Now you have to pick who do you want to double team, either George Pickens or DK Metcalf. And once again, you're going to have Calvin Austin III in one-on-one situations with Big Pat also at the tight end spot. But I just wanted to come back on the back end of this video and say that I am aware of the attitude problems with I am very aware of the attitude problems with DK Metcalf and with George Pickens. That is something to look at, but love the move once again. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless.